Hey, greetings everyone from our home to yours. I hope that this finds you safe and well. I apologize on getting this to you late, but our passages from today come from Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31. This is the second Sunday of Lent, and so this is a special edition of the stories that Jesus told, the things Jesus said, and the lessons Jesus taught. And this is a story that Jesus told about the rich man and the poor man. And you may have heard this called the parable of the rich man and the poor man, or the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. So I hope that you read this story, but this story seems to answer two questions that may be being asked. And one is the danger of serving money. And the second is what happens when you solely pursue material possessions. And this story pursues the idea of the contrast between the rich man and the poor man, in that the rich man could buy whatever he wanted, and the poor man was too weak to even walk because he couldn't even get any food. So the beggar was placed at the rich man's gate, hoping that the rich man would come by and provide alms to the beggar. And so laying him at the rich man's gate was probably an attempt to make the rich man feel bad for the beggar and give him money so that he could eat and give him mercy. And Jesus uses this story to teach the Pharisees about their theology concerning money. And according to the Pharisees' theology, the rich man believed that he was righteous before God and that God was the sole reason that this man was that wealthy. And remember, the Pharisees believed that the richer that someone was, the more that God loved them. The rich man showed, however, that he wasn't righteous because he didn't love his neighbor as himself, which is found in Luke chapter 10, verse 27. And the rich man saw that the beggar needed help and mercy, but he didn't even give him any. So in reality, because the rich man didn't help the beggar, he demonstrated that he was not righteous and he had not fulfilled his duty of righteousness as the law demanded. And so he was not righteous at all in the sight of God. And if you don't believe me, answer this question. Where did the rich man end up? If he was that rich and the Pharisees truly thought that this man was righteous and blessed and loved by God because he was so rich, why did he end up where he was at? I mean, the sad part of all this is the rich man didn't even go out and try to find a way to help his neighbor. And so his neighbor came to him and he still didn't show any mercy. So they both die, both the rich man and the beggar. And the beggar is carried to Abraham's side by angels. However, according to the Pharisees' theology, he should have not been taken to Abraham's side. According to the Pharisees' theology, because the man was so poor, he shouldn't have been taken to Abraham's side because that meant that he was hated and rejected by God because he was poor. So poor being the indication of that hatred and rejection by God. And the rich man should have been taken to Abraham's side, or God's presence, and welcomed into the joys of eternal life, according to the Pharisees' theology. However, the rich man was thrown into what we call Hades. In Hades, the rich man was tormented and begged God to show him mercy by letting the beggar dip the tip of his finger in water to cool his tongue, which is ironic because the man would not show mercy to the beggar while they were alive. And so here's Lazarus being begged by the rich man to show him mercy. So the lessons here are really that material things only provide temporary satisfaction, and that our eternal destiny is fixed at death. Material possessions are of no use to us in the afterlife. And so the idea is to put our focus on the right things, to put our focus on God and godly things and not on material and worldly possessions. So this week, the second week of Lent, may you focus on the right thing, and may you pause and remember what God's done for us. Grace and peace to you. God bless you. Have a great week.